All right, our next portion of the notes is active transport, which includes endocytosis and exocytosis. You have the first part that we talked about, passive, which is our osmosis and diffusion. Now active, we are going to cover that, which the only difference between active and passive really is that active requires energy.
Oh, so it's like when a child is super active, hyperactive, they have a lot of energy.
So our key concept for this portion is cells use energy to transport material that cannot diffuse across a membrane.
Alright, so active transport is going to require some type of energy in order for this to happen. So it requires energy from a cell, and it enables a cell to move a substance against its concentration gradient. So do you want to share your concentration gradient analogy?
Yes, some of my classes might remember us discussing this. I said it was like if we had our hallways flooded with water. We have a ton of water in those hallways. They're completely full from floor to ceiling with water. We have the door shut in our classroom. So our classroom has no water in it because our door is acting as if it is a semi-permeable membrane. We're not allowing things in though. As soon as we open that door, the water in the hallway that is at a high concentration gradient is then going to want to flow to the low concentration gradient in our room because our room has no water, so it has a low concentration gradient. It's going to continue to flow until it has became equal, or we have the same amount of water as we do in the classroom as we do in the hallway, and then it will eventually stop flowing or flow very little at equal amounts because we have it equivalent. We have the same concentration gradients.
Okay, now as a review, passive transport requires no energy from the cell. That's going to be like that water moving into a classroom just because it's going from a high concentration to a low concentration. It doesn't require energy. It's just going to naturally do that. Okay, active transport is going to move it against the concentration gradient, so it's going to require energy to power that transportation. Okay, active transport is powered by chemical energy.
That's called ATP.
Yep. And active transport occurs through transport protein pumps.
Oh, there's another one. Sorry.
You know, tongue-tied. Okay, cells use active transport to maintain homeostasis. Oh, what does homeostasis mean?
Homeostasis. We went over this 1,000 times in class. Sorry, I thought you were going to go on.
No, because I don't think I've talked about it quite as much as you have with my kids.
We call it the H word.
The H word?
Yep, the H word.
Okay, do you want to share?
Homeostasis is just the way of your body or your cells or the organs to maintain the prime optimal condition that it needs to function at its highest peak performance.
Homeo, going back to the roots of the word, homeo is going to go back to homo, which is same. Stasis is kind of like it wants to stay. Stasis, it wants to stay with the same kind of conditions. Just like you and I, we like to have, the same kind of temperature, right? You don't want it to fluctuate 100 degrees every day. That would be bad. So we like to have the same kind of temperature. Cells like to have the same kind of concentrations if they can. Right?
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. Ding!
A cell can import and export large materials or large amount of materials in vesicles during the process of endocytosis and exocytosis. Okay, cells are going to use energy to transport these materials through things that we call vesicles. These vesicles are like little...
We'll get to the picture.
Okay, there we go. Vesicles are like a little, I don't know,
like a circular, kind of like a vehicle. That's what I told my kids. It's like a vesicle is like a vehicle. It's this double membrane. I mean, it's broken in this picture now, but if you...
It is another organelle.
Yes. Here you go. So we've got that circle that's surrounding of that phospholipid bilayer that just is kind of like a protective little coating to transport materials from one place to the other.
It's like giving the substance a great big hug.
Yeah.
You're so
Nice.
nice.
Well, not really, because it's gonna destroy it later. But
Oh, well, thanks for ruining that.
yeah, you know, science. All right, endocytosis is the process of taking materials into cell. You didn't already say that, did you? Or did you?
Oh, well, we said it again.
I don't think, did we?
I don't know.
All right, so endocytosis is the process of taking materials into a cell. There we go, said it again.
Did we mention endocytosis is the process of taking materials into the cell?
Oh, no. But, oh, you're gonna,
Yeah, I'm gonna circle endo.
in.
In.
What? Cytosis, if you'd like to know, means cell. So, endocytosis means into the cell. So, endocytosis then is the process of taking material into the cell.
And then we have phagocytosis is a type of endocytosis. Phago is just going to, do you know what the phago
Means
means?
eat.
Okay, I
Or
don't know.
consume, something like that. So, the cytosis, the cell, so the cell is like eating. So, if we go back really quick, sorry, to this animation, it's eating that, whatever it was, that it just ate. Okay. Are we done?
Yep, good.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't hit the button. Make it go.
Alright, so a cell can import and export large materials or large amounts of material in vesicles during the process of endo and exocytosis. That's kind of that main idea. We've already talked about endocytosis, so now we need to talk about exocytosis.
Okay, and exocytosis is going to be the process of expelling material from the cell. We have exo, but you can never guess what that means. Oops.
Excited?
Exit.
Exit.
It sounds really gross, but whenever I learned this in bio, I always thought of it as it's the cell's way of puking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gross like that, though.
Well, it's life.
Yeah. So then exit or exocytosis is just going to be the way of making the material
Go
leave
away.
the cell.
Yeah. We talk about cells use energy to transport material in vesicles. Yeah, that's just part of that active transport. Okay, they've got to have energy to go through endocytosis and exocytosis.
Does it see here? Does it show that animation again? And then the material's moving. It embeds into the membrane, and then the membrane just forms on the outside and pushes it outward, like vomiting. My favorite. And I think that's it. You got a real short note set.
Yay.
Now you know active requires energy, passive is no energy. You have your exo and endocytosis. Endo is the way of bringing in material. Exo is the way of pushing material out. Phago is a form of endocytosis. It's eating it. And that's basically it for active. Just remember, active requires energy.
Yeah, and don't forget you took these notes.